touched on almost in every single presentation, and that is 28-day programs. For a lot of you, looking at this and going, it seems overwhelming, I don't know if I can do that, I don't know if I want to. This is actually a good way to take Sweet Retreat home and host your own 28-day program as a group. There are so many different Crossline communities that are hosting 28-day programs, as well as the US sales team has been hosting 28-day programs just to be able to support you and provide you valuable material. You can plug your customers into that group, or you can steal the material and plug it into your own group. But there's so much great content on the back office for you to be able to share in your 28-day programs. And so this is, I know that we talk about this quite a bit, but I want to make sure 28-day programs are an opportunity to really pour into your customers. And so it's such an important topic as we're looking at customer experience and how you're growing your business. And I love the energy of this next goal director as well. When I first sat down with her, we sat down and she laid out her business for me. And she's like, here's my 1 and my 4 and my 5. And I was like, where's your 2 and 3? And business centers. She's like, oh, I started with the 1 business center and I got my 4 and my 5. I was like, I've never seen this before, and all of you saw that. So she has worked really hard in her business. She is a goal director. She's been with us for quite some time, and she's expecting her first little girl. Well, she's expecting her first, and it's a little girl coming up. So please join me in welcoming to the stage goal director from Illinois, Alexis Cervantes.
That is one of the songs that just make me it's my jam in the morning. When I know I have a lot of stuff to do in the morning, and it's one of those songs that just make me no choreographed movements, nothing makes sense. I just want to move my body to sing that, go to that song. I love it. So, my name is Alexis, and I am talking to you guys today about the power of 28-day programs. But if I could go back in time, and I don't think this is working. Can you see me? No, you can't. Can you help me? Help! If I could go back in time and I could rename this talk, or if they would have asked me what I wanted to call it, when they asked me to speak, right? They didn't. I don't know why. I'm not that big yet. I would have called it the power of community. And for me specifically, the community that makes me feel like I'm getting stuff done is the community that's my jam. That's what gets me going. That's what makes me feel like I'm moving forward in life. Do you guys know that? Whatever it is, maybe it's not that community for you, something that fills your soul, whatever it is, but the community that makes me feel like I'm getting stuff done is what moves me forward. And so I am choosing to talk about community within your 28-day program because I feel like community is so important. And I love that I feel like everyone's kind of been hitting on that, especially with the last ladies that we just had up here. But think about every stage of your life. There has been some sort of a sense of community that traveled along with you through each life cycle. Am I right? Think about the community within your family. Think about the community within your workplace. Think about the community that you had when you were in high school and how that community shifted and changed when you were in college, right? All of those communities, they shift just a little bit and the people change and the circumstances change, but there was always a community that got you through that stage of your life. And it moves you to the next stage, and it helps you get through that. And I kid you not, you guys, as you guys clearly have seen, do these stripes make me look pregnant? I'm expecting my first, like she said, and I opened up my email today, And one of the subject lines in my email inbox was, sweaty pits and swollen vaginas. Parenting complaints. And I was like, well, if that's not a sign that I'm moving into a new stage of life, I don't know what is. I've never had that subject line in my inbox before. So I am moving into a new community and a new stage of life. And also thank you guys for all of your kind words and encouragement after you've seen me and rubbed my Buddha belly these last few days. Has anybody like had these moments in your life that you really learned how powerful community is?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. I like that answer. I have this moment in my life, and I feel like I learned how powerful community was about 15 years ago. And it's one of those moments that literally just kind of like come out of nowhere and just right on top of your head, right? And they just make everything stop, and nothing is ever the same after that moment, right? Do you guys know, have you guys learned lessons in this manner also? Because that's how this happened to me. I can tell you guys, I learned how powerful community was about 15 years ago. And I can tell you those moments that are forever ingrained in your mind. And I can tell you where I was walking down the quad at the University of Illinois, about to reach the Lincoln Hall, and it was a beautiful fall day, and my phone rings, and my mom says, hey, who are you with? Where are you at? What are you doing? And I answered the questions, and she said, okay, we have a diagnosis for your dad. And at that point, I'm walking down the quad, and I stop. I stop walking, because we had been through months and months of medical testing, 3 months to be exact. And she said, it's cancer, it's stage 4, it's non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it's very aggressive. To the point where we got this diagnosis in October, and the doctor said, if you see Thanksgiving, you probably won't see Christmas. That's how aggressive it was. And so I stood there on the phone with my roommate and my other bestie to my right and my left, and you just do this. And you have to take that in. And once you take that breath, nothing is ever the same after that breath, right? No matter what you do, no matter how much you wish you could change it, nothing is ever the same after that breath. And after you process that information, and this might look differently for you. I hope and I pray that that was not your moment, your situation, but everybody's got a situation, right? Maybe you lost your job, maybe this was another friend or a family member, somebody that you were supporting or that you love. Maybe this was a divorce for you. Whatever that was, you have these moments and you take those breaths. And the emotions that you feel, you're filled with so much of it. And a lot of times that's fear, right? Really fear of the unknown. But here's one of the things that we don't talk about enough with fear, is that fear is just energy. And it feels like it's coming out of you, right? Sometimes it's so much that you just have to stop, and it's what's telling you, just brace yourself, because this is going to be a rough ride. Sometimes it's an exciting fear. Some of you crazy people like roller coasters. So like when the fear that you feel when your roller coaster gets all the way to the top, and then you look down and you feel like you're just going to go straight into the pits of hell. That's what I think for a roller coaster. I'm terrified of them. So sometimes it's a fun fear, but you still have all of that energy with you, and that fear is moving you to that next stage of life, whatever that's going to be. And here's what's scary about us changing directions in a new stage of life, is that it's not always defined, right? Days go by, situations change, life is happening, but it's not always defined, and we don't know where we're going, and we don't know how we're going to get to whatever that end spot is. And so that's what's a little bit scary, but what's fun is once you process and once you take that breath, you decide what your role is going to be in that next stage of life. Sometimes you're the one who's needing help, sometimes you're the one giving it, sometimes you're the supporter. Your role is going to change as those life cycles change. And I can tell you now that my dad is a 2-time cancer survivor. He kicked the crap out of cancer. But you know what? Here's the thing. We have such a powerful community that just wrapped their arms around us, you guys, and supported us every single step of the way. My friends in college would open up a book, a planner with me, and we would look at our exams, and then we'd look at all of like our frat, like the things that we had to do and all of those things, and we would literally sketch, I would pencil in emotional breakdowns. I know this is gonna make me kind of messed up, so like people are like, you're kind of weird, I think you should work on that. It worked for me, that's how we did it. But it just allowed me some time to just stop and just feel the weight of what was going on and gear up for that next push, right? My dad, his siblings, and his friends came up with a calendar so that when my mom was at work, somebody was always at home with him so that he didn't have to be alone and afraid by himself and scared. And so somebody was always there. And what a blessing for my mom to know that somebody was there with him also, because when she was at work, her colleagues said, listen, they all went to their boss and they said, listen, here's the situation. We know that we don't have a pooled sick day bank, however that works. We don't have that here, but I need you to know something. Elizabeth's husband is very sick, and when she runs out of sick days and she needs to be with her husband, she's gonna be with her husband. I'm going to call in sick. I'm gonna be at work and she's gonna be home. So you figure it out, and this is how we're running our department. Right? Thank God for amazing people. What a blessing that was to not have to feel like you had to choose between losing a job or losing your husband, possibly, right, not being there for him. I could be up here for the next 3 hours talking to you guys about how this community really saved us, but they came together and it was blessing after blessing, and it took this really, really horrible situation and made it this much better, and then this much better. And day by day, we finally were done with cancer. And this is my dad now. We work together, probably way too much. We own a lawn care business that we run together in the summers. He's got his own USANA business. But I think one of the things that really impacted our family the most is that we love to take that sense of community that got us through this really sucky situation and put that back in other people. So we run boot camps together and boxing clinics, and he loves to help people love to take charge of their health and make choices in their health and build a community that's important to. And so that's one of the things that we do together. But as this relates to your business and to your 28-day program, there's so many people out there, you guys, that have an end source that they want, have an idea that they want, have something that they're struggling with, that's on their heart, that's in their mind, that's in their body. And we have an idea of where we want to go, but we don't always know how to get there, right? So you have an opportunity to be that answer for people and to have these 28-day programs and come up with these things where you can be a source of community, helping people move forward. And so what you need to do with your 28-day program is you need to find out where your audience is at. Who are you speaking to, and what is it that they need? What do they need at this moment that is going to fill them with support that you're providing for them and help them move forward with wherever they're at in life? And what's also really important to know with that is, where are you at right now, and what can you provide for them? That's really, really important. How many of you guys feel like right now you're just working on the skill of talking to others? Being able to introduce USANA to somebody else. If it takes you longer than 2 minutes to craft a text message to somebody that you've known since high school about a program or a product, this is you right now. How many of you just say, holla?
Holla!
Don't be, oh God, I'm so, that's what you guys sounded like just now, okay? Own where you're at right now so that you own your result. How many of you are working right now on being confident in talking to other people about USANA?
Holla!
That was so much better. All right. If you identified with that group right now, don't change after I say this next one. That's where you're at, okay? How many of you can do that, but now you're working on listening and assessing what they say, and then coming up with solutions for them, some forward-moving channels for them. You guys are kind of working on your own programs. You guys say yes?
Yes!
If you've mastered that, and now you are working on helping other people, helping your team maybe, leading them and coaching them to be able to listen and run their own programs in their own forward-moving channels and build their own communities independent of you, then you guys are working on coaching, and you guys say PTL, because I am not there yet. PTL.
PTO.
You guys are amazing. I hope to be there someday. But you know what, within each groups, whatever one you just identified yourself with, I want you to know that there's a community within that group as well, and you guys can learn from each other. And so one of the things that we're going to do post-Sweet Retreat is give you guys an opportunity to join a mastermind group of Sweet Sisters within those 3 groups right there. So look for a link that will show up on the Sweet Retreat page, because there's something very powerful with coming together with those people and learning how to better yourselves in those areas as well. I'm not where I'm at. Like, I'm not coaching yet. I haven't mastered that. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. But I am pretty good at running a 28-day program, because I've been able to listen to my audience and adapt to what they need. I think it's really cool that they just talked about a book club. I am not part of their team, so I haven't been a part of this amazing book club. I'm a little jelly about that. But what I did was I posted a picture one day about this Grain Brain book, and I was like, I think this is really interesting. Who wants to read this book with me? And you know what people said? Ooh, that sounds really interesting. Can you just read it for me and tell me what it says? And I did exactly what you did. Like, you guys are lazy, get the book, here's the Amazon link. And then a 3rd person said it, and a 5th person said it, and a 9th person said it. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm reading the book and telling you what it says. So this book club literally became, it was supposed to be just a 28-day thing. Every Thursday, I get on Facebook Live, 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops, right? 2 full months, an hour and a half on a Thursday night, which sounds ridiculous, right? Because people are busy. I had so many people engaged in asking me questions and loving the information that I was able to talk to people and tell them about glycated molecules and what was happening in their body. And thank God I did that, because if they had read that information in their book, like in their home, it would have been whoop. They put the book down, put it on the shelf, and they never get any farther, right? So you have to listen to your audience and meet them where they are at, and provide that help, that community, that love, and that support. And that is what is going to make the biggest difference in your 28-day program. Your 28-day program doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be renew you. All of those resources that we have are absolutely amazing. And I've run all of those. I used the shareables, all of that stuff. But when you learn how to master that, and when you learn how to listen to your audience, you need to provide them with what they need. So you need to move on, and you need to dig inside yourself and see what you can provide for them. And you guys are here for a reason. If nothing else, then to just get out of the cold where you live, because it's like polar vortex in my town these days. But what is the thing that brought you here? How many of you, this is not your first Sweet Retreat? If you guys, thank you. You guys keep coming back because of the community that we build here, right? So that is the passion that brought you here. But I need you to do me a favor. If you come here and you're like, oh, that was so great, I love my sisters, and everyone loves me, and it was so beautiful, and everything is pink and filled with love, and my heart is filled with love, and then you go home, and the house is messy, and the dishes are there, and the kids are waiting for you, and the dogs are waiting for you, and you don't do anything different in your business, you have wasted your time.
Yes. Yes.
And a lot of money. Stop wasting your time on your potential and the value that you have to give to other people. Lori just said, people need you. People need what you have to offer them and what you can give them and the love that you can speak into them. Stop wasting that and stop sitting on it and stop replacing it with a dang load of laundry. The laundry is always going to be there. So I want you to take some time. on your trip home. I know some of you are lucky enough to just drive here. That means you live here and it's not -16 in your home right now. But if you have to get on a plane tomorrow or tonight, take these pieces of paper that are on your table, and I just want you to look at it and take 5 or 10 minutes, and I want you to think about where you are at, where your team is at, and where your audience is at. And see where they're at and see where that next cycle of life is going to be, and where can you lead them, and how you can be a part of that, and how you can be a part of building a community that is going to make a difference in their life. So, community, you guys, I think we have all said it 800 times today, but the community is what drives somebody forward. So share what you love and share what you can offer with other people in that power of community through your 28-day programs. This is my Instagram handle. If anyone wants to follow me, go ahead and click on that. But I appreciate your time and all of the baby belly rubs you guys have given me all weekend long.